Okay, welcome to the introduction to Python. What we're going to be talking about is just a general overview of the Python scripting language. So here is the Python homepage, and the question is, where does Python come from? Believe it or not, actually, the author was a big fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus, so he called uh, his new scripting language that he developed Python. He actually also called the Python archive the cheese shop, which if you're a Monty Python fan, you should get that reference. Um, Python has a slightly different philosophy than Perl. Python is very easy to read, but in addition to that, Python is I almost want to say elegant in the idea that there should be one and preferably just one and an obvious way of doing something. So as to where Perl was, there's many different ways to do something. Python is there's one obvious way of doing it. So in that sense, it's a very elegant sort of operating system. Uh, it's been around since 1996. Really, you're looking at Python version 2 series. Python 3 is a complete rewrite. Theoretically, Python 2, its end of life was in 2015. That was extended to 2020. It's hard to say how long it'll be around for. But it's Python 3 is not necessarily backwards compatible with Python 2. There's a certain, again, this is sort of the Python design philosophy. It's simpler is better than complex. Readability counts. Um, you know, it's you can read through this Python philosophy, but I think it's after you actually start using Python that you'll start to understand how this actually comes into play. Python is available for everything, which makes it a very attractive scripting language. Um, Again, we were talking about modules and adding extending the functionality of Python. If you want to do something in Python, again, I'm just sort of using the example of cryptography for as a illustrative example. You can go to the Python G shop and get whatever module you want. Somebody's already written this to take care of all the hard work for you, and it's usually just as simple as using pip and then install then the package name, and will extend the functionality of Python by adding those Python modules. Python has one really different thing that most people either love or they hate. I personally like it, but Python doesn't use curly braces around code blocks. It uses indentation. So if you're going to make a code block like a loop block, you can just use the spacebar and move your code over, you indent it, and that now becomes your code block. Couple good resources for Python, of course, the Python homepage, and Stack Overflow is always a great place to look for questions and answers on any of your Python code. Here's just a very simple example of Python code. Again, you start your code with shebang, and then the local path to where Python lives. You see I set a couple variables, and I actually start a loop here. So if x equals 1, and you can see now I've indented over my loop. So I could have multiple lines in that if loop without using any sort of braces. So again, Python uses that indented style of coding.